All right, we're live.
Oh, wow.
Here we are. All right, what's up, guys? Sorry for the delay. I just got back to the studios, rushing to get back. Dude, I'm so excited. So tonight we have Heavy J. Now, I think out of all the card art, I'm really excited about yours because everything you do is charity related.
That's right. That's right.
That's amazing. Absolutely, like, amazing.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. I think it is probably the unique thing about what I do because there's a lot of guys doing similar and I dare say doing better, but I'll call that my angle.
Dude, I think that's, I mean, if you're going to have an angle, that is the best angle.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's been really gratifying. And when I started, I had no idea where it could go. But we were creeping up on $6,000 in donations to some really great organizations, really awesome. Just off junk wax with glitter paper. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I would love to talk about like the glitter paper that you use is amazing. Like, it looks great. It's awesome.
I appreciate it, man. I am approaching platinum status, platinum elite, pardon me, okay. Joann's. I don't know if that's a New York thing. Midwest Joann's is where you get all the arts and crafts supplies. So, I just buy these big 12-inch by 12-inch, different colors, gold, silver, red, blue, you name it. And I go through it pretty quick because I do a lot of cards. But yeah.
So are you cutting it into strips and then just kind of making the borders about that, or?
I've got a few things. So I'll do a little, like, kind of a mini show and tell, not to get too carried away. So I'm going to actually start. This is the very first card I ever made. All right, and I kept it. It's the Cobra 1981 Fleer. Mm-hmm. So this one, obviously you can tell I didn't do a heck of a lot.
Hold it way up by the camera. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and you can see it's got like some little gold refractor going. So, in terms of, the work involved, it was pretty simple. It was just cut out the Cobra and stick them onto, 2.5 by 3.5. I've gotten a little more sophisticated since then. So, I got to keep up with Dan and all these other guys doing their awesome work. No, you can maybe do on the Pedro. I'm so bad. It's like cutting my own hair in the mirror, but I actually cut around the Pedro. It wasn't just me cutting a rectangle and gluing onto a rectangle, but working a little harder to put this together, if that makes sense.
Awesome. Sorry, just plugging in my microphone.
Yeah. So it's kind of a range of things, and then another thing I'm going to say I'm a little bit known for is my Ransom Lettering. So this is actually a card I just finished today. The bird. It's nice. The last card I just made. And the little letters, the BIRD, those are coming from the team names in 1985 Topps. So so I do a lot of that. So I would say, what's my style? Glitter paper and Ransom Lettering. That's kind of my trademark, and obviously the charity.
Nice. I love that. And where I see the KC hat. Where are you located?
I am, in some ways, I'm a man without a place. So I grew up in LA, right? I grew up in LA. Some folks know I'm a big Dodger fan. Steve Garvey was my guy growing up. That probably dates me a little, but that's okay. I'm living in Chicago now, or Chicago suburbs, right? But I'm representing, because after Dan wore like 19 different hats, and you're always good for 3 or 4 really cool ones, I just said, I'm going to grab my best hat, which is Kansas City Monarchs. That was Jackie Robinson played for them in 1945 Negro Leagues. Satchel Paige, of course, and a lot of other greats. Ernie Banks got his start there. So that's a great team.
Nice. That's awesome, man. I love LA as well. I lived in LA for a couple years, and it's a fun place.
I don't think I knew that. I knew you were like kind of Marin County-ish and like kind of Sacramento, but tell me about LA. I didn't realize you were there.
Yeah, so I lived born in San Francisco, grew up in Marin,
for a short spell, well, a short decade, I went to Florida. I was in Sarasota, Florida, and then back to California, and kind of went to like high school and college in the Sacramento area. So I love California. And in 2012, I moved from Sacramento area down to LA for about a year. And then I went to Arizona, and then I went back to LA for a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I think LA is a very cool spot. It holds a special place in my heart. I love Venice Beach. I love really the beach in general, like surfing and kind of that whole vibe is cool. I like that kind of dirty, hippie. Venice is just awesome to me.
Yeah, right on. You know, if you checked out Venice Beach, almost guaranteed you bumped into my dad because he practically lived there. He would go there pretty much 7 days a week. That was his hangout. Yeah. And I miss LA. And of course, with the pandemic, this is the first year since, maybe out of the last 6 or so that I haven't been back to California at all. So, I
haven't been back since Thanksgiving. And that is, it's sad because I love it.
Yeah. I mean, I got most of my closest friends are still California, either the Bay Area or LA area or Central Coast. I lived in Monterey for maybe almost 10 years before I came out here. So I miss it, and it means a lot to me to go back each year. Yeah. But it's hard to say when that trip's going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel that. Okay, so cards, charities from the beginning. Like, did you just started straight away like that?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, so if there's kind of an origin story, right? I know there's some comic book collectors on the feed, right? If there's an origin story of Heavy J Studios, it was, it feels like almost a year ago. Maybe it was January or something, right? So I like to frame baseball cards that I think are cool, like team sets. Like I collect a lot of Dodger team sets. And so I was framing the 1989 Topps Dodger team set, which is like my 1988 World Series heroes. And just to add a little bit of kind of glitz to it, I got this, gold refractor paper from Joann's to just put behind the cards. And when I was done, no joke, the strip that was left over was 2.5 inches wide, like pretty much exactly the width of a card. Right. And it just clicked because, of course, so for me, I collected mainly in the 70s and 80s. I still collect now, but that was kind of my heyday. And, a big change is the cards these days are, a lot of the cards are pretty shiny compared to when I was a kid, right? And so I kind of had this idea like, oh, man, Jay, you could take your old cards and kind of make them shiny like the new stuff. And so I grabbed the Cobra. I love Cobra, and he was kind of my test case. Did that. And so that was just for me. That was just to have a cool looking Cobra, but I showed it to some buddies. They loved it. And so one day I was flipping through a box of like my good rookie cards, right? And I might be revealing a flaw here that the buyer wasn't aware of, maybe didn't disclose. But anyways, I was flipping through and I got to my 83 Boggs rookie. And I was like, oh, hold up. I didn't know there was kind of like a little notch on the border. Like the border's kind of jacked up on this Boggs. Now I hadn't even thought of these glitter cards, right, for months. But all of a sudden I'm like, oh, dude, if I do like a Cobra glitter card of this 83 Boggs rookie, who cares what the border is, right? Because that just goes in the trash. And so I made it. I thought it looked cool. And I got the idea of just, you know what, let me see what would happen if I put it on Twitter and I'm like, hey, let's have a 2-hour auction, high bid, all the money goes to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. And I'm going for like $45, right? Which, for just some craft supplies at Joann's and a little bit of cutting and gluing was amazing to me. And so I thought, let me try a couple more. And I had good success. And there was a part of me that kept thinking, okay, the 3 or 4 guys who want a glitter card in their collection now have them. I'm out. Right? Like nobody else needs any of these. Right. But I would keep adding more cards and people would keep doing it. And, I know a big part of it in our community, and from the Lauren Taylor benefit and everything, our community is wonderful in terms of helping out good people and good causes. A big part is people see these and they say, you know what, I'd like to help out that organization anyway. And then some of it is, hey, maybe the card will look cool in my collection. So it's a mix. But it's been like 300 cards now since that Wade Boggs. So yeah, pretty much since the beginning.
So what year was that?
That was so you're talking about the Wade Boggs or the
Wade Boggs, yeah.
83 Donruss.
Sorry. What year did you did you start promoting it?
Oh, that was just this past June. So this is all a new endeavor. Yeah.
Cool. 6 months ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, June, like 3 months ago, right?
Yeah. Wow.
And it's, yeah, I mean, it's kind of my pandemic hobby. You know what I mean? I don't have my commute to work anymore. And so, it's like I've got a little more free time in my day. And I think we're all doing a little, kind of extra and different to just keep our sanity, to be honest. So, it's been a good fit for me.
Wow. That's awesome, man. What was the job pre-June, pre-COVID, pre-everything? What was keeping you busy before?
Oh, well, I mean, I still have my day job, you know what I'm saying? And the truth is that is why I'm able to send all the money to charity. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be honest, because I've had some guys basically say to me, dude, I feel bad selling my stuff when you're giving yours away or giving it all to charity. And I said, you know what? Don't at all, because 20 years ago, 30 years ago, there is no way I would have been in a position to do that. If I figured out that I could get $30, $20, $10, or even $5 for a card of mine, I would have got that money and kept it because I would have needed it, right?
Sure.
Yeah, but I've got a day job. It's super nerdy. I know that's not going to be a surprise to your audience that this guy super nerdy. So if anybody on the feeds ever thought about being a nurse, there's an exam that I work on for nurses to get their license, right? So it's an exam that's used in all the different states. And I'm not a nurse, but almost every big major testing program just has some nerdy people affiliated with it that kind of make sure all the right stuff happens. And that's me. Yeah.
Cool. So nurse certification.
Yeah. Or licensure. So
licensure. Cool.
Yeah, exactly. Like the New York Board of Nursing, they would use our exam for, let's say, graduates, that are looking to become registered nurses in New York.
Awesome. So you're local. We're neighbors.
Well, no. So every state, right? Every state board, I threw that one out because I know that's where you are, but every state board of nursing uses it. So I'm still Chicago suburbs, and my organization's headquartered in Chicago.
Got it.
It's really all 50 states, even some Canadian provinces and U.S. territories like Guam, Northern Mariana Islands, et cetera. Yeah.
Awesome. Love it. Okay, so in the card world, and wow, I mean, I had no idea that and Matt brought in some cards which are awesome, but
oh yeah,
your work, I would have never guessed that this is a months long project versus much longer
really
than that.
Impressive.
Is that his too?
I don't know what it was in the.
Oh no, on that, that one's fine. I really like how that turned out, and the McGuire Diamond.
This is the one that I didn't know.
So you know what, my buddy, he's like my neighbor practically, but a guy I met through Sabre. He's on Twitter as PHitter72. Doc. P Hitter 72 did that other one, so that was my bonus insert when I sent out. He hooked me up with a bunch of his stuff. And then, I was.
So are you doing? So if I look, it looks like you're doing a full square of glitter, and then you're pasting. Sorry. Okay. So a full whole card of glitter, and then you're pasting this card back on top of it.
That you have just revealed my secret formula. So
sorry.
Is coming. That is exactly right. But I'll show a variation.
Okay.
Which is I'm pretty bad with this. This is my 3D jumbo Barry Bonds.
Okay.
And the technique here, and I apologize. I know I'm holding it exactly back.
Don't worry about it.
Do.
Yeah, even sound effects, but doubles of the rattle for toddlers.
There's some HRs in there.
I took the actual card, right? And then instead of having glitter rectangles, I had glitter frames,
Okay. So you cut the middle out.
Yeah, and I just stacked these frames, layer upon layer onto the card to generate the thickness, and then actually cut up a top loader and glued that in as my top.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I'm trying to, I'm trying to keep up with the Joneses. I'm trying to stay maybe one step ahead sometimes, but
Right.
there's a lot of guys now that are cutting up cards, and I think we're all pushing each other. I look at the work
Totally.
they do, and I think, geez, I got to step up my game. These guys are like, their stuff is so cool. And yeah, if I could indulge, because you just had Doc. By the way, thank you for having Doc on your live stream. That is a childhood hero.
It was
And
cool, right?
that was like the best Doc interview that I've ever seen, Blake. And
Wow.
no, it was. I mean,
That's really cool.
That's awesome.
part of it was, I mean, you just had a great rapport with him.
Right.
But I mean, Doc's had his ups and downs. He was doing great. He was looking good. He was sounding good.
Yep.
I've seen interviews where I worried about him a little more. This was an interview where I was like, dude, Doc's doing amazing. I'm proud of him. So I just want to show, when I talk about some other dudes that are kind of passing me by, this is actually an artist collab with Matthew Burke, who I know is one of your
sick. Yes.
But dude, he took the 87 wood.
Yes, he's here. Oh, nice.
It's actually wood. He replaced the cardboard with wood. So, here I am doing the glitter paper. He has moved on to actual wood. So, I got to enjoy this gig while it lasts.
Yeah.
I think it's going to last.
Seriously. I hope so.
I think so too. I think that, we're at an interesting time in sports cards, and the fact that like there weren't sports for so long, and then Project 2020 launched. It got a lot of people excited about it. I think, to be honest, like COVID, I think helped Project 2020 momentum.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of the stuff, like residual benefits that we're going to get out of it, are things like card art and people doing modified one-of-one cards that I think we're not in the conversation as much as they are now, which is really cool. And I hope it continues. Who knows? But it's been awesome. Like meeting all different card artists has just been like, it's been wild. It's been really cool.
I feel like Blake, you and your team have been a big part of really making that happen. Like honestly, just the encouragement you guys provide, your willingness to kind of show your work, creating your pieces, for as successful as you are, you're like one of the most humble people I've come across. And honestly, Project 2020 and your work with the project was something that I'm going to say gave me the courage to make my stuff and even put it out there. Right. I mean, I'm trained as an artist. I was just a geeky math major. That's what I did. So, I got to say, man, I think you've really been a big part of creating a culture where people like me can say, hey, you know what, man, we don't need everybody to like it.
No, you don't. All you need is a couple customers, man.
That is
and like in your case, doing the charity stuff, like it's whatever. Like any one customer is enough, right? Like it doesn't matter. So it's been really fun, and it's been cool, meeting the different artists, and like you said earlier, I think that all the artists kind of encourage and push each other to push their own boundaries. What we got there?
Sorry, I got the Ricky. I was trying to just
throw it in there. Throw it in their heart. Yeah, get in there.
If you haven't seen it, it's beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Pleasure. It was a pleasure, man. I mean, it's funny, for a lot of the young folks out there, I'm gonna say, counting the two of you, to be honest, but a lot of the young folks out there don't really know the players that I've got in my cardboard boxes, right? Sure. So every now and then folks get in touch with me and they'll be like, oh, I need a Glaber or Luis Robert or whatever. So I actually went and I bought a couple boxes of 2020 Topps Big League, just so I could be a little current. It's funny, most cards, like my collection tops out around 1991. But Project 2020 has been cool for that, because it's like the way, I mean, you kind of brought Big Mac back into being cool. Like ESPN had that thing, the Sosa Mark McGuire thing too. But between ESPN and you, right? Like collecting Big Mac was cool again. And so, all of a sudden for me, I can come through, find a McGuire, put it out there, somebody wants it, whereas like, there were names that were almost dead in the hobby for
Sure.
20 years. So I love seeing them make a comeback because, those were the guys I collected and those are the cards I've got,
Me too, man. I love to see Mac. And speaking of Mac, we just got these back the other day. They're gorgeous. So these are Mac signed cards of mine. So I'll be doing a dual auto. I haven't decided yet, to be honest, if I'm gonna sign. Like I could sign there. I could sign on the back. These are also Beckett certified, which is cool.
Yeah.
Really cool. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm so excited. Like the Big Mac stuff is the most exciting part about all this to me, but that's a personal,
that looks
love. But
that looks fantastic. That looks fantastic. I'm gonna ask you a question.
Go for it.
So I was watching last week. You had Jacob Rochester on, and that was a great show. And he's definitely a favorite among the artists for me. But you guys were talking about how you don't let the occasional negativity bother you, right? I mean, there was early on, especially in Project 2020, I saw a lot of hate. Like people are like, dude, what the F is this? Oh my God. This is, tops. You gotta like what? There was like a lot of negativity, right? And then once people found out that card they bought for $19.99 was selling for $300 on eBay, right? Well, they calmed down a little bit, but
yes.
But at any rate, I know you got to have thick skin for the negativity, but tell me about the positivity, because I think you get so much praise and so much love for your stuff. Are you able to kind of soak that in, or do you just kind of you're just kind of stoked to it all?
That's a good question. Well, it's easy to let either of those things get to your head.
Yeah.
And probably honestly easier with the negative stuff to let that affect me. I try, and it's like anything. It's a work in progress. I try my best to let neither of them get to my head.
Yeah. So
it's great to hear. It's great to hear positive things, about my art. I think is really nice. I didn't go to art school. I don't have any formal training to be doing what I'm doing. And so in that sense, like sometimes if people really appreciate my art and are complimentary of whatever I'm doing, it's really easy to say, okay, well, this is really good because I didn't study this. I've just worked hard, I guess, to get where I'm at, and have people say nice things is like, okay, cool. Maybe what I'm doing is good. But I try to put that in the same bucket as the negative stuff, because at the end of the day, people are going to buy my art or not buy my art, or retweet my art or not retweet my art, or like it or not like it. That shouldn't really matter, I think, in terms of like what I produce next.
Yeah.
And so I've tried to like remove myself from that situation. A lot easier said than done.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that I think that there's like a lot of it's really easy for an artist to ignore the negative feedback and then just embrace the positive feedback. And I think if you get stuck in that space, you're going to be stuck in that like creative realm or whatever that you're in. So like if I make a thing in a certain style and a bunch of people like it and they tell me, and then some people don't like it and they tell me or whatever, and I ignore them and I listen to all the people that say it's great, like I'm just going to keep making that. And like at the end of the day, like I think that like my job as an artist is to ignore all the feedback and just keep making what I feel is right. And it's very challenging, I think, to do. And I think it's actually harder to ignore the positive feedback than the negative feedback. But that's what I'm working on, is to continuously be able to ignore all feedback. Not ignore. Ignore is not the right word. It is just that not let the feedback impact the future work.
Yeah, it's a good way, man. I mean, I think, when I think about some of the cards you've done, right? And, I remember when you had my buddy Scott Hodges was on here, and he really, he's got a huge art background and really kind of knows the theory and knows all these things, right? And that's not me. I kind of don't. I just look at stuff and I go, oh, I really like that. Oh, that one, I don't know, maybe a little. But, some of the stuff, like, you probably would be the first to admit that somewhere in the 20 artists, there's a few that on a technical level are maybe more skilled, right?
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Tons of them.
Right.
Almost all of them, if not all of them.
I mean, which is just the sign.
Technical artistic skill is not my strong suit.
Right. And
I'll be the first to admit that.
It just means you're part of a really awesome group that you don't necessarily see yourself as the most talented. But one of the things that I really appreciate about your designs, right, is like, with Griffey, right, a guy who's technically more talented but has the hat on the right way, right, like the creativity to flip the hat, right, the McGuire to bring in the USA colors, right, your Don Mattingly. I think your Don Mattingly was the first card that really caught my attention, just flipping the portrait and the action, right? And so it's like there's a level of creativity and fun and personality that, to me, I think transcends almost everything else. And obviously you're super good at the everything else as well, right? But it's a funny thing, and I think I've seen this with the Project 2020, but I'm going to use your Swagner series as an example, right? Yeah. I think you could push out a lot of things, and I'll just say example, your Topps Project 2020 Ted Williams, where almost everybody would be like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like that. But something like the Swagner, right? I know collectors. I know some super old school collectors that would be like, oh, that's an abomination. I can't believe
totally.
You faced the Wagner, But I think sometimes the things that inspire the most negative reaction, like the strongest negative reaction, are also going to be your pieces that inspire the most extreme positive reactions. Like, I also know people who've looked at your Wagner and they're like, yes, there it is right behind you. Yeah. They're like, oh my God, I love that. That is outstanding. Right. And so, it's kind of, sometimes you kind of veer outside the safe middle of the road. You take some chances. Yeah. And the way some people are really going to love what you're doing and think it's really creative is to be willing to tolerate the idea that a bunch of other people are going to have the opposite reaction, I think,
Right.
They just go together.
Right.
Except for stuff I do that's awful and everybody hates it. Well, maybe my fiance or my kid is like, oh, Dad.
Yeah, I'm actually, this is a good segue. I'm putting a link in the bio. So this series, the whole series with the Honus Swagner, aka Bronus Wagner,
yes,
aka all the different names. So I'd been talking to Topps recently about potentially printing it as a T206 set as one of the waves.
Yes.
They were open to it. However, I just found out today they have decided that they're cutting it off at wave 5, which is the current wave. We were potentially talking about making this wave 7, them doing one more wave and then mine dropping in November.
Okay.
That would have been awesome. But they've decided that they're not going to do that, which is fine. So I'm still like talking about future sets with them, but because of that, I've been working on all these different T206 cards. The Wagner series is just like a fun kind of side thing. Anyways, I'm doing prints of them now, and there will be some small and some slightly bigger. But anyways, they're now available, and I just put the link in the comments. I'll put it one more time. It's Blake.art. And then if you go to gallery and you go to B206 is the idea. So the way that I'm launching it is I'm doing 3 prints per week. And so this week there is Ty Cobb, Eddie Collins, and Cy Young. And if you buy all 3, you get a bonus Wagner.
Wow.
So it'll be like it's buy 3, get 1 free kind of situation. And so each week, the Wagner, it's always confusing. will be different. So like this will be 1 week. 1 week will be the one with like the money up in the air. Anyways, it should be super fun. So anybody that's on the stream, if you guys, a bunch of people have been asking about the prints. The only reason that I was like holding out on you guys and not doing it is because I was waiting on Topps to see if they were going to print it as a set. If they were, I wasn't going to do prints because that would be kind of, scooping them. So anyways, now that Topps is not going to print them as their own T206, I'm doing my own B206. And right now we're doing it as prints. Potentially I could do it as cards in the future, but to be honest, like my relationship with Topps is so important to me. And I know that Topps would be probably a little bit butthurt if I started printing my own cards. I know Matt's laughing about the terminology, but it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically,
you're not wrong.
They would be butthurt. So
Sure.
anyways,
Well said.
anyways, so these, well, not this exact one, but the B206 available as prints, putting the link for the third and final time in the comments.
Sweet.
If you guys want to check them out, it's like, it's kind of like the FDOT stuff where like there's prints that are just available forever. And then there's, I'm doing an edition of 10 APs that are signed and numbered 1 through 10. So anyways,
you can work your way up, T206, we've got 524 different cards in the set. Are you going to eventually hit them all,
Yeah, that is a good question. So at first I'm starting with, my thought was 16 cards because there are 16 different backs. And I think that one of the cool things about T206 is that like the backs are so interesting that sometimes it's like hard to even decide, do I want to show the front or the back of the card? And so I've been taking the backs of the cards and putting them on the front of the card with the portrait. Like the Ty Cobb says Ty Cobb, the Eddie Collins says Hindu, and it has kind of that that thing. So I'm starting with 16 cards, and then we'll go from there. I don't know. I mean,
I think there's an opportunity now. I love that you're actually going way back to the guys who played, in the era. But I do think there's an opportunity for somebody to do a Pete Alonso T206 polar bear back.
Yep.
No,
polar bear for sure. Yes. Oh, nice. The cycle. What is that one? Is what is that? Wallace? What's that guy's name?
Yep.
Bobby Wallace.
Bobby
Wallace.
Good looking. It's good looking. You know what? I won't give too many ideas out there.
Please.
Anybody from Topps is like, dude, what's he talking about? But what I do if I were Topps with the stuff you do, Blake, is think about this, man. Like the card art that you just started selling on your site, right?
Yep.
Like cards
I would love to get you involved in that, by the way.
Oh, shoot, dude. Okay. But check it out. Like, picture if Topps inserted, like maybe one per case or something like that, one of your cards that you painted over, right? As kind of a new kind of one of one, right? I mean,
I would love that as inserts.
I mean, if somebody was like a trout collector, right now there are options when you're talking about like the trout rarities, 1 of 1 or serial number 5. It might just be the borders a different color or something like that. But think about if it was the top stamp of 1 of 1, but it was your card art, and the only way to get it was to rip a ton of packs, right? Like, I think that would be an awesome thing.
That would be sick.
Yeah, and I mean, you're doing well selling them through the website, so don't get me wrong, keep doing that. But my point is, if I were Topps, I'd be like, hey man, can you make us, like, we want to pay you, $100, $150 times 1,000 for a stack of 1,000 of these that we're going to start inserting. I would do that if I were Topps.
Yeah, I would love $100,000. I would love $100,000 for 100 card art cards. Or 1,000 card art cards or whatever.
It's only that all goes.
I mean, I think that yes, I agree. I think that would be very cool. It would also be great for card art as a brand if we could get retail exposure. I mean, my first challenge there is I just want my own. I wish that any of my cards could be an insert. It doesn't have to be a hand painted one. It could be like like if a T2020 card, Project 2020 card was inserted into packs would be cool. Whether it's actually Project 2020 or like another, just a reprinted card of my art would be great.
I think that's a great opportunity for them. Like, especially I mean, Project 2020 that's out of print. If they'd maybe kept just a few to insert or something, that would be super cool.
Well, I've got a lot.
Yeah,
I've got a lot.
That's true.
It's crazy. I was actually just looking today. So I've been talking to different companies, card production companies, about producing cards for me.
Yeah.
Outside of Project 2020. And I just got a quote today it was actually very affordable. If I did like a 10 card set, theoretically, and then they would print 10 cards. The quote was for 2,000 of each card. So if there was 20,000 cards printed, they would take those cards and they would make packs of 3, and they would seal them and put my logo and stuff on like the foil, whatever, on the outside, and people could rip packs, and it would be 3 cards of mine, and they'd try and build a set of 10, or maybe there'd be inserts with borders or autos or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I have hundreds of these 2020 cards. Like I could do them as inserts in that or in something else. Like, we'll see. I'm invested in the future. I think I have to buy the cards like everyone else during the same buying window, and it counts towards the print run. And fortunately, I get a little bit of a discount on my own cards. I don't get a discount on anybody else's cards, but I buy a lot of my cards because I believe in my business. Basically, yeah. I think that in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, the 2020 cards is going to be very important. I think people are going to look back on the set and think it's awesome, and that's what I'm betting on.
Yeah, I mean, especially if Topps comes back to it every now and then, right? That this is the first year of it, right? I mean, everything from the first year, I think will have a lot more demand in the future, right? I mean, if it's a one-off and they never return to it again, maybe less so. But I think some of the cards, I mean, especially for player collectors, like if you're a McGuire collector, you have to have your card.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. And like for me, I'm a Gooden collector. I'll be honest, when I kind of did the math at the beginning of Project 2020, I'm like, okay, should I go after this whole set? Well, let's see, 400 cards times $20, $8,000. Yo, I don't think I quite have that kind of money. Mm-hmm. So then maybe I should do all the Dwight Goodens. And I was like, ooh, that's a little rough. So I'm kind of picking and choosing. Obviously, I picked yours up. I've got the Tyson Beck Gooden, and then just a couple.
Tyson Beck Gooden's a good one. That's a good one to have.
Yeah. In fact, no.
I hope if you bought it for $20,
yes,
you're in a great spot.
Oh my God, you guys. So no joke. Like I bought that card and I wasn't really paying attention to the secondary market. And then somebody posted to Twitter how the Tyson Beck Gooden just sold for $3,000 on eBay over Memorial Day weekend. And I'm like, what? And so the crazy thing, right? Like for me, I don't really buy to sell. I kind of buy to have, I mean, right. I love the card. I wanted it. I wasn't really looking to unload it, but I got to admit, right? Everybody's got a price on something. So I actually listed mine for $7,500. And I thought, you know what, man, if it goes, cool. In fact, if it goes, I'll buy somebody else's for $3,000.
Right.
And I made a little money. But yeah, nobody bid. It was like
that's
sold at $3,500, and then it kind of went off a cliff a little, although it's still pretty high, but nothing like that.
Yeah, I mean, still like a, I don't know, $700 to $800 card. It's
expensive. Yeah, and that was
a lot more than $20.
Yeah, and I mean, I bought it. It was just that I saw it on social media, and I was like, dude, that Dwight Gooden looks so cool, right? I mean, it wasn't about, this might be worth something. I mean, there wasn't a lot of interest yet in 2020. And ironically, that's why that card is up there. It's still the lowest print run.
Exactly.
Once the, I think it was the Shore Griffey hit 100K on the print run, all of a sudden, 900 cards or whatever that Gooden was looked really, really microscopic, right? So, yeah. But, I'll tell you, man, Topps packs with your cards, I think would be awesome. But then, and maybe I'm a little bit making a pitch for some buds, but like imagine same packs from Topps. And I know your packs could do this too, right? But let's say Topps, I could get a Blake Jamieson art card, right? You had Dan on This is a card Dan made for me of Gibby, right? He's probably watching right now. I think you've had Optimus Bolts. I've got the
have
Gibson, right?
Yep.
Like, oh man, I would love it. I know I've probably aged out of Tops's demographic. Although
I don't think that's the case.
I don't
think that's the case. I don't think that's the case.
Maybe I'm just aging in, but but I mean, oh man, for me, like if I were buying packs and like every box, I got a card that was like, you did it, or Dan did it, or Optimus Volts or something, that would be so much more exciting to me than like, oh, I got the hot rookie. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's a future for Topps doing that kind of thing. Now, obviously, for me, that's something I'm into, but I think even younger collectors, those are cards that are going to stand out. You know, I mean, I kind of think that like if you showed a younger collector an Optimus Volts, they would have to have it. You know,
totally. I agree. I agree. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, Dan Baumfeld art packs. I think that's a cool idea. You know, to be honest, you know, Topps is, well, first of all, Topps is amazing for giving me the opportunity and platform that I have now, and I will not take that for granted. But they've been very good with the artists about giving us a lot of creative flexibility and freedom. And in terms of future stuff, I mean, Topps has basically said, "Hey, bring us ideas. You know, we'll see what we can do." And you know, it's not out of the question for me to go Topps and be like, "Okay, here's the idea. We're going to start putting one-of-one card art into packs." So who knows?
Yeah,
You know, it seems, you know, it might seem like a pipe dream, but it's not that far away from being possible. And Topps has been really receptive to a lot of ideas and things. You know, I brought to them the B206 stuff, and Jeff was like, "Yeah, this is great. People are gonna love it. Like, let me run up the chain." And in doing that, he said, "Oh, well, we found out that we're actually stopping after wave 5, and you know, for whatever reason, it didn't work." But it wasn't like Jeff took my idea and was like, "No, we're not going to do that." He's like, "That's cool. Let me see what I can do." And it could be the same thing with this. It'd be like, "Hey, we've got this stable of artists. We could do these insert cards that could go into packs, you know, whatever, one-of-one stuff." I'm down to try.
Yeah, I mean,
who knows? I mean, I don't know. They're really receptive, man. They're really cool.
I'm trying to remember the lingo, but there's like those Topps packs. Somebody will know in the audience, but there's those Topps packs where like you could get like you're thumbing through your 2017 cards you just bought, but you could get like a 1984 Topps Clint Hurdle with like a little stamp, like I forgot what it's called, Recollect Topps or something like that, right? But like if I were going to get a 1984 Clint Hurdle and it just had a little stamp that showed me, oh, Topps put a 1984 card in my pack, I'd be like, you know. But if you painted over it or something, like that would be a big difference. Like that would be like, dude, check out this card I got. So yeah, I'm cool. Beating that one, man. I'm gonna keep beating that. But you're doing all right as is, man. You're every time Tony or you or Matt posts a link, I'm like, oh, let me check it out. Let me see if there's, you know, I collect a few guys, right? You know, if Blake did a Steve Garvey, I don't even know if you've heard of Steve Garvey, man. You're a young man, but
any card you want, you tell me the players you like, and we'll make it happen.
Now, where I could actually send you the card, right? I think.
Yeah. Well, I'll do it for free. You don't have to do it through the site. You say, it's so good, bro.
Shoot. Okay. All right then. So yeah, but it was funny because like you would post your link and I'd be like, oh, I got to go check that out. And it was like, oh, these look awesome. Sold out. And I keep scrolling. It's like all sold out except that there's a dude on the word.
I mean, I'm
gets the word. So, you know.
Yeah, no, it's great. And I mean, this really goes back to Topps and me kind of being grateful for the platform that they give me because, you know, I'll tell you, I've been selling my art for 5 years, and I've never been in a situation before this year that I can put art up and it sells out faster than, like, you know, people are mad that they didn't get a chance to buy it. that's never been an issue for me. And now, like, and I'm trying, it's a balance. I always want to make everyone happy. And when that happens, somebody's, I didn't get a chance to buy this autograph card. I'm like, okay, well, next time I'll make more of them. And I'm trying to find that sweet spot where, with the Marianos, for example, I did 500 red autographs. We've sold, 300 of them or something, which is great. There's 200, like I have 200 cards sitting in inventory, because in the past with previous cards, people were like, I can't get a card. I like, can you make more available? I'm like, okay, well, every time I do new stuff, I'll try and fix it. So I'm trying to find the sweet spot, get everyone's stuff. I love if you go to the site and it says sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out. I love that, except for the next person that came that like wanted the card, that was ready to spend the money, that can't. It's cool if my stuff's rare, but like I want anybody that's like willing to give me money for my art. I would love to be able to make that trade.
Yeah.
And I don't care about edition numbers or sizes and rarity and stuff. Like I would rather just, I want to get them stuff. So I'm trying to figure out that spot. So when someone like you goes, and if you did see the Steve Garvey or whatever card, like whatever you want, you should be able to get of my art.
Yeah. Well, it's cool. I mean, you did add that feature where people could send in their own or whatever, which is awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. And honestly, it's been popular. Every day, almost every single day, we get orders of that, and we're starting to get cards in the mail, and we've got the process of preparing them and getting them ready. And people send in little notes with it and say, like, we just did like a poppy. Big Poppy card where they wanted like very specific. They're like, I want red, white, and blue. I want a blue autograph. I want to say this on the back. I want to see this. And like, specific. I'm a people pleaser. I'm like, okay, let's do it. And we just finished that one. And yes.
Cool. That's awesome, man. I mean, because I remember early on you were sending those out, just sending them to people. And but I think you had a good idea, and I mean it's nice, right? I mean, I think the thing that's cool, right? I don't want to pretend there's like too many things that that we both have in common, because you're freaking Blake Jamieson, right? And
we got a lot in common. I
mean, the thing you figured out, and I'm trying to remember which interview, who you were talking to, but like, to a certain extent, you can pick up, like, I mean, it could be a common player, but let's say it's a good player. But I mean, the point is, you can take a 20-cent card and you can turn it into 100 or 150, right? You can take a Project 2020, and we'll call it a $20 card at some point in time, and just through your signature, you can turn that into a lot more, right? And, I think about, in the hobby these days, right? We talk about guys that are flippers, right? They're clearing out the Target, buying all the boxes. The kids don't get any, and they're turning around and selling the box for triple or whatever, which, okay, that's a part of the hobby. But it's interesting because when you think about, the case breakers or the big collectors on their best day buying their boxes, okay? Let's say they spend $300 on the box. On their best day, maybe it's $1,000. Right? Maybe. I mean, that's a great day, right? Maybe it's $200.
Of course. You can triple your money, of course. Yeah.
In your case, you could open any box. It could be 1993 score. You know what I mean? It could be stuff nobody has spent more than 13 cents on in 20 years, right? But you do your thing, and you've turned that pile of 3-cent cards into literally tens of thousands of dollars, right? And I'm going to say, so Heavy J Studios has raised almost $6,000 so far. I'm going to say the raw materials, the actual baseball cards I started with, probably collectively were worth about $60. So $60 became 6,000. That's 100x, right?
100x.
I'm a flipper at 100x. You're a flipper at like 1,000x. And here are these flippers clearing out the Walmart and the Target and the whatever. They're probably flipping.
I'm not 1,000x.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
getting there. You're getting there, my friend.
Yeah.
You're getting there. But I was joking with a buddy the other day that I bought a box of 88 Donruss for $10, and I said, I believe I can turn this $10 box of 88 Donruss into $1,000. And so I'm kind of tracking it, and I think I'm going to get there, which is like
certain you will.
Right, $10 box of Donruss, $1,000.
Absolutely, dude. I love that. And I think like I think 100x is a great. I mean that's dreams.
Yeah.
Like any business would be excited if you can make 100x on your cost of goods sold.
Oh my God, yeah.
Any business would be just thrilled, right, to make that. And any investor would be like, that's the type of business we want to be a part of.
In the COVID economy, if you can make 1x, you're doing all right.
Yeah, no, I mean, sure. 1x, 10x, like whatever. But yeah, I think honestly, like, I think that is a good target number for something like card art, for something like I'm doing with my auto, something like you're doing with your art. I'm taking a $20 card and, yeah, I mean, really, I'm taking a $20 card and selling it for $100. So that's not even, is it 5x?
It's 5x. Like a 5x, but I think
5x. But I feel great about that.
Though, I mean, you've got dollar cards that are up for 100 or 150.
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
You've got to
also like, but there's also a lot of cards that are same thing. They're whatever 10-cent cards or dollar cards or whatever that I paint on and they become more valuable, quote unquote, and we give them away for free.
Yeah.
And we're trying now, especially now with card art, that we're selling stuff and letting people mail in cards and paying us, that we're now changing. Like, we did a lot of free stuff to promote the business. And just like for me, if you look at like Topps, I can trace my relationship with Topps and this deal back to 3 separate paintings that I did for free. It's like I did a painting for free for, a few specific people. I do strategic gifts a lot with my art, and that's how I got this deal. And so same thing with, with card art. It's like now, I'm selling cards for, $100, $200, but also I've done a lot for free and done a lot of strategic gifting, marketing. I think it's, important. And I think that a lot of artists don't understand how profitable working for free can be.
That's a good point. And that's your business and your economics background, I think, coming through, it's a pretty cool thing to have along with what you're doing as an artist. Right. I mean, you're able to on that background, but that's exactly right. I mean, just exposure, opportunities. I mean, those are worth something, and so you throw a painting somebody's way, and if it creates opportunities, that's more valuable than money early on in what you're doing.
Yeah. And I mean, even now, man, I still, anytime, I'm always hunting for like good opportunities to get my work into new hands. And if I have to work for free or even pay, I'll pay for the materials, I'll pay for the shipping, I'll pay for everything, like, to make deals happen. And it's crazy because even, I've done this for 5 years now. And from the beginning, I've done strategic gifts, and I'm always learning and always trying to learn from every situation. And like, I just had a situation, literally like this week, where I did a free painting for someone. And now, especially like with that, where I'm at with my platform, I'm try to be very meticulous and particular about who I work for free, because, I have a waiting list for paid work. So like, why would I go work for someone for free when like I can literally paint something and be paid, and people are waiting to pay me, and I'm still like, you guys keep waiting. I'm going to go do this for free because it's good for my business. And I did something, and it did not pan out the way that I thought it would. But it's always a risk. Someone that had 6 million followers,
Ooh.
did a painting with the expectation that it would be shared to those 6 million followers. Painting was delivered, accepted, loved, but not loved enough to post with 6 million followers. And I'm like, well, that was kind of the deal, right? Like, if you're not going to post it, then pay me, because I don't care if you like it. Like, if you like it and don't post it, like, that doesn't help me grow my business if you just keep that to yourself. So one or the other thing, like, pay me or post, and they're basically like, no, like, we're gonna keep, like, and it's crazy. Like, I'm at a point now where I'm like, that should be thousands of dollars. Like, you should either pay me thousands of dollars, or you should do what you said and post it to the 6 million people. And they're just like, no, because I don't know, they do their own thing. So that's okay. And that's crazy that this is still like, even this week, I'm just like, wow, okay, well, that was a waste of time. And I'm glad that he likes it, but I'm not, it doesn't do anything for me, you know?
Yeah. It wasn't the deal. Here's my guarantee to you. Like, anything you send my way, I think I might have 12 Facebook friends who haven't quit the platform yet.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm going to be hitting the little hug emoji, the heart, putting it up there, link to the website, link to card art, it's funny, man. Like, dude, here's, I think the way the world works is you put a lot out there, right? You give a lot, and ultimately you get a lot, but sometimes a give that you gave doesn't come back with a get. Right. And sometimes a give that you gave that you didn't think would have a get comes back with a big get. Right.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like, I think I'm a believer that it all evens out. Right. That, I wouldn't want that experience to change what you're doing, because
it won't. It won't.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks, but hey, that's life.
I honestly, like, I just feel bad for the person that was in line to get a painting painted next, that's ready to pay money.
Yeah.
That I pushed back.
No, I hear you.
That's what I feel bad for. I'll be fine. The guy who got the free painting's fine. The person who's on the waiting list is fine. They'll get a painting soon, but that's who I feel bad for, because that's really the loser in this. Is I could have had art on their wall.
Yeah.
And they would be very happy about it, and I would have a little bit of more money in my bank, and which isn't really what it's all about, but it's a business and I have to make money to keep doing it. So,
of course,
it's important.
Would I bore you and your listeners if I told you about one of the best free cards I've sent out?
Definitely not.
Okay. All right. So, definitely my normal thing is people get in touch. Hey, can you do an Eric Davis for me? Okay, sure. Donate $30 to the Josh Gibson Foundation and I'll take care of you. Perfect. Right. That's my usual. Right.
Sure.
But, taking a page out of your book, I also just every now and then pick somebody out and send them something. Right. I know, actually you, Matt, and Tony now are all members of the Heavy J Studios Collectors Club. So congratulations on that. Congratulations. Anyways, there was a fellow I followed on Twitter, and I can't say I really knew him. You know what I mean? Like, I liked his posts and stuff, but it's not like we ever really introduced each other or anything like that. But he's writing a biography of the Cobra, Dave Parker, that's coming out next spring.
Okay.
And, I'd been making a bunch of Dave Parker cards because one of the organizations I was really trying to support early on, especially, was Dave Parker Foundation. I think probably the month of November, all my stuff will go Dave Parker Foundation. But anyways, so I write to this fellow, his name's Dave Jordan, right? And I was just like, hey man, I know you're writing about the Cobra. I kind of make these goofy cards. I'd love to send you a Dave Parker just because you're a big fan, right? So it's like, awesome, right? So he gives me his address. I send him my card of the Cobra. Okay. A few weeks go by. He posts a photo to Twitter. It's not Dave Jordan holding up my Cobra card. It's Dave freaking Parker holding up my Cobra card.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And the second photo, which is that somebody at one point in Dave Parker's career or life gave him a clock, like a clock that basically included a collage of his whole career in baseball cards.
Okay.
Showed me in the second photo, Dave Parker replaced one of the cards off that clock with the Heavy J Studios. So I mean, honestly, like if other Dave the author, if he just kind of kept it for himself and was like, dude, I really love that card, I'd be like, awesome, fantastic, that's a win. But it was this card I sent out that I just hoped he wouldn't like throw in the garbage, basically.
Right.
And it ends up with the Cobra. It's like if you went to Cobra's house right now, don't during COVID, but you're at least put on the mask. But if you went to Cobra's house and you looked up at his clock, you'd be like, oh my God, Heavy J Studios. I recognize that Cobra anywhere. So
that's amazing.
You know what I mean? And it's like I have had, not at the scale of you, because so far nobody's looking to pay in the thousands for anything I've ever done. But at any rate, I mean, I've had some where like I've sent them to people that I thought at least they'd be like, hey man, thanks for thinking of me. I kind of like it, or it's not really my thing. But I've definitely sent some to people that have like, there's been no acknowledgement. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Just like freebies that I send out because, I think this person might appreciate it.
Yeah.
No acknowledgement. It could be with USPS that it's just 3 months and counting, but but I try not to let that bum me out because I always remember, well, hey man, the Cobra was holding up my card, and how that happened and what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you. I mean, obviously, like the situation I had this week was rare because now where I'm at with just like the platform, like people. Well, also, like, I'm just careful. Like, I don't send free stuff to people that I don't think are really going to appreciate it.
Yeah.
And people do. But, like, yeah, I mean, same thing. Over the last 5 years, like, I'll send out stuff that I think people are going to be hyped, and I literally never hear from them.
Yeah.
Like, well, maybe they got it. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they liked it. Maybe they didn't. That's part of it. But in terms of the stuff of, people never paying $1,000 for it. Oh, that's just because you don't have $1,000 price tag. I mean, people aren't going to pay $1,000 if it costs $100, right? Or
all right.
Costs
all right. And hey, I am taking your advice. I have this pretty sweet Vernon Ken Griffin Jr. remix.
That's sick.
$1,000.
Good.
Yeah, this was actually a fun one. And then I just learned, by the way, I don't know if folks, folks collected Upper Deck 1989, 1990, those awesome team checklists, incredible art. Vernon Wells, unfortunately, just I think a couple weeks ago, suffered a stroke to where right now he's unable to paint. So folks out there that want to keep Mr. Wells in your thoughts and prayers, it was a pretty big setback for him. And then for the younger folks on here, or maybe Matt, who was working for Baseball America or MLB or whatever, Vernon Wells Jr., right, is a card you might have in your collections. So the father of Vernon Wells Jr. did all these cards for Upper Deck.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah. Ooh, this looks nice, man. I might
beautiful. Yeah.
Jeff, can you afford $1,000 for this card? We can't afford $1,000. Shoot. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Blake. I have a question for you. I believe I saw at some point, either on your website or something, did I see a picture of you with Drew Brees, and he was like holding a painting you did of him? Okay. All right. So my fiance is from New Orleans, right? Saints fans, big Drew Brees fan. How did that come about? Like, did he just kind of like, through the website inquiry, contact us? Oh, hello, my name is Drew. I live in New Orleans or San Diego, depending
First name Drew, last name Brees.
Right. Yeah. Like how that
DrewBrees@gmail.com. Let's see. So that one was with with John Carney.
Okay.
John Carney was a kicker
for
the Saints as well as a handful of other teams. He played in the league for like a 20-year career. He's very long, good career. Yeah. So the John Carney Foundation does this charity event every year in the winter with John Carney partnered with one other guy that used to play, but they do a thing called Dining with the Pros, and they have a bunch of NFL guys come and people buy tickets to this like high-end kind of dinner gala. I don't know. I would just just kind of a random guess, but probably $1,000 a head. And people buy, tickets or tables. And then during the night, they get served, like literally the servers that bring out the food are football players.
Mm.
And the Carney family, John Carney, who's amazing and super nice, by the way, are very good friends with the Breeze family.
Sure.
And so Drew Brees and his wife every year are like a big part of it, and they typically are kind of the headline.
Brittany Breeze. I'm getting my producer is telling me it's Brittany Breeze is his wife.
Brittany, yeah. So I had met the Carneys through a friend, and they're basically like set it up, and they're like, yeah, Blake could like do a cool painting. Could be whatever, and they said, "Oh, Drew Brees is going to be there." I was like, "Okay, well, I'll paint Drew Brees," and yeah, so that's kind of how it happened. I just got introduced to them, did a Drew Brees painting, drove it down to San Diego, and was there for the physical event. Got Drew to sign the painting, and at the time, that was like December of was that 2018, 2017? 2017 or 2018, end of the year. And like, it's cool because when I do like charity stuff like that, especially if it's charity is like tied to like a big name like Drew, the painting sells for a lot of money.
Oh, sure.
And that all is going to charity, which is cool. I do a ton of events like that where it's all charity stuff. But like, I mean, at the time that painting I think sold for, I think it was $6,800.
Okay.
And I mean, before that, I had maybe sold a painting for $4,000 or $5,000, like tops. So like to just pretty significantly bump the price of an original of mine is great. And like, and that's continued to happen. Like last December, almost a year ago now, I did an event with Make-A-Wish in San Francisco, and I had a piece sell for $17,000.
Ooh.
Wow.
Which
is sick. I mean, like,
it was
amazing.
a sports piece.
It actually was a blank canvas that the winner gets to choose what I paint.
Oh, okay.
And it took a long time because it was right before COVID, and then COVID hit, and like literally I'd hit the winner up to be like, what do you want? Like, what can I do for you? It's always like when I do that type of situation, I'd rather like get it done fast and not have to worry about it. Yeah. And finally, like it took a really long time for them to like tell me what they want. And then we talk about colors, talk about this. And like, I finished the piece like last night, which is crazy. So like, and in fact, it's like, it's actually right outside in the hallway. I might have Matt. Oh, he's not here. Yeah. You want to grab that Rock Hudson one?
Whoa.
I'll show you the piece.
Whoa. Now listeners, this is an exclusive scoop only on the Heavy J Studios live stream.
Yeah, it is. Like, I mean, this is so it's crazy. This was that much money. You know? I mean, I like it. I like all my work, but like, okay, so
wow,
Rock Hudson and Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah,
and it could be hung like this. Could be hung like this. I don't actually know how he's gonna hang it.
Was that intentional? Or just after you did it, you realized it could go either way?
No, he sent me a photo, and I didn't even know. He's like, "Hey, could you paint this?" It wasn't even him; it was his executive assistant. He said, "She's like, can you paint this for Wayne?" And I said, "Sure." And so I painted it, but like, I don't actually know if it should be hung that way or turn it that way.
Yeah,
like that could be that way too.
I'm gonna say those back pages gave you such great advice on the Gooden cards. Maybe he should. Make a suggestion here.
Although I like it. You know, it's it was fun, and yeah, I mean, it raised a lot of money for a great cause.
That's amazing. I really love the background too. I mean, it's got so much personality. You did a phenomenal job.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that it's an expensive piece of art.
Yeah. Do you, when you're working, do you feel extreme pressure that it's that much. Like, I mean, if you're doing a free piece for somebody, you can take some chances. Maybe you mess it up a little and you're like, it's okay. It's free anyway. But like $17K, like, I don't even know, man.
To be honest, not really. I think so also like,
In the zone.
it's also different. Like, okay, this guy, Wayne, that bought this piece, he paid $17,000 to Make-A-Wish Foundation because he likes Make-A-Wish. And I like, I love Make-A-Wish. I work with them every year, and I just think it's a good organization. And so he's not expecting, I want to give him $17,000 worth of art, but he's not going in bidding on that to be like, I want a $17,000 painting. It's just like, he just wants a good reason to feel good about his donation.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality of it. And so, of course, I want to make him feel like, damn, that was a good $17,000 well spent. Or, every time he sees it, he like remembers, oh, this was when I was very generous to Make-A-Wish, like in 2018, December, or whatever. That's cool. It's different than like somebody commissioning me and coming into my studio and be like, I want this painting. Here's a $17,000 check. I don't know. To me, it feels different. Maybe it shouldn't, but
no, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense.
And the same, and the same thing is like, if somebody pays me, and people don't pay me 17 grand for a painting. I wish they did, and someday they will. But people might pay me $5,000 for a painting. Somebody pays me $5 grand, and somebody else that I do it for free. For a strategic gift for someone with 6 million followers or whatever. I don't treat those any differently. And it's kind of like, what was it? Like I talked about last night and mentioned tonight of like taking, whether it's criticism or praise personally, like I try to just avoid all that. It's like, I'm just painting for myself. Kind of, I will accept money for it. I will accept praise or criticism or feedback or whatever. But like at the end of the day, like when I make a thing and I'm like in the zone doing the stuff, it's just like me and the work.
Yeah.
And I do my best. It's hard to like actually, execute that. But like the idea is it is me and the canvas, and that is all that exists until the work is done. Then I put it out into the world. I will listen, and accept that feedback, but like not let it affect the next time that I like sit down with the canvas. So I try to treat like a $17,000 painting the same as a free painting.
Yeah. To me, that feels like a really great mentality to have, to be able to do that,
In theory, it's great. No, it's great in theory. It's great in theory. It's hard to execute, but it's the goal.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta say, man, I think I have, I'm starting to evolve that Mamba mentality that I think you've got. Because I remember like early on doing what I did, this might've been like one of my first 10, 15 cards I ever did. Right. And it was just for myself. It was for my own collection. I just wanted it. I took my autographed Stan, 1983 Donruss, Dick Perez, I was like, you know what, man? Like, I would never really want to cut up an autograph Stan Musial, but actually the autograph's going to be intact, and I can just kind of spruce up the card, make it look a little more slick. But dude, when I got the scissors ready, right? And I'm not high tech, man. These are the tools of the trade, right? When I got my scissors ready and I was like about to cut, dude, I could feel my hand shaking. Which when you're about to cut an autograph Stan Musial, you don't want your hand to shake, right? I had to like put the scissors down, do some breathing exercises, return, try to block it out of my mind that it was my autograph Stan Musial, right? It was like killer. But then, right, when I posted it, a guy named Gerald got in touch with me, and oh my God, he is going to have an awesome set if I can ever finish this. He decided, he saw it, he loved it. He's actually trying to build an autographed set of these cards for the players who were still alive at the time. So now, like, basically by the time I got he sent me his autograph Stan Musial in the mail, And I got to say, when I approached it with the scissors, I was like perfectly calm, hands of a surgeon, I'm like, okay, all right, I'm just going to cut along here. I'm going to do this. I was cool, man. It was like, I could tell that to me was a marker of growth. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, if he does ever send me the autographed Mickey Mantle, I might need to take some, I don't know, what is it? Geritol, Dramamine, somebody in the eye.
Some kind of
some kind of calming agent.
Chilling thing. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready for that, but yeah, man, it's there's differing pressure, but if you can block it out, it's like the great NBA players that talk about like hitting a free throw in the final minutes. They just pretend they're playing with their buddies on weekends when they're at the line and don't feel that pressure, right? But that's
exactly.
I mean, you have to build that skill, I think, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, those guys can do it because they've played in those situations a lot of times.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we try and do the same kind of thing, and that's the hardest, but most fun thing to try is to like pretend like the game 7 final shot or whatever is just practice with the homies.
Yeah, it's just what you've been doing all your life, or what you've been doing your 10,000 hours. Here's one more,
Yeah, exactly.
I have a random question for you. So I'm gonna give a shout out to your guys, man. Like, I think before I ever connected with you, I had like a little bit of interaction with Tony and with Matt.
Mm-hmm.
And these are like two of the most first class guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Super personable, super positive. And I'm wondering, like, were these guys kind of like buddies of yours? That
I met them on Twitter.
No doubt. Okay. I was wondering, like, I feel like if Heavy J Studios ever grew and I needed to hire 2 dudes, like, or dudettes, shall we say,
Sure.
like, I don't think I would do as well as you. You know what I mean? Like, where'd you find these guys? Seriously, just on Twitter.
They came to me, man. They both reached out to me. And it's crazy because it's really wild. A lot of people reach out to me through this project, and my inbox is there's a reason. I hired my sister Tess, who I think is here on the chat. She runs all of my inboxes: Twitter, Facebook, email, Instagram, anything. Anybody that inbox messages me, Tess is vetting everything, and a lot of times she can handle it and just takes care of it. And sometimes she'll say, "Hey, there's a message on Instagram I need your help with." Whatever, and I'll take care of it. But this was before Tess, and I still did have a lot of messages, but not as many as there are now. And I've always tried to engage and listen to anybody that messages me, anybody that tweets at me, tags me, whatever. I try to pay attention to everything, and these guys just came in early, and Tony was the day that I dropped the Nolan Ryan card, April 18th, I believe, and you just said, "Hey, I have some cool ideas for how you could expand your business," and basically it was autographs, and he's a big card collector and had ideas. I was like, "Hey, I'll run everything. I'll do the shipping. I'll do this, and let's come up with this working arrangement." And I was like, all right, sure, let's try it. And that's worked out really well. And Matt, I had posted after I did my first round of autographs, I shipped all the Nolan Ryans myself. And I posted saying, "Hey, I'm struggling. I need help physically, like shipping stuff." And Matt's like, "Yo, I'm right up the street. I'm in Astoria. I will come and work for free to prove myself." And it's crazy because I would guess that there's probably a lot of messages that left, maybe were unread or unresponded, that were similar situations where people were saying, I've had a lot of people say, "I'll work for free," or "I've got this idea, we can partner on this," and I just don't have time to get back to everybody. I try, but these guys, right spot, right time, I responded. they came through. They exceeded my expectations, proved their worth, and then it was a no-brainer to hire them. So
Yeah, I've been really, I don't want to say I'm jealous of your team because, like, you know what I mean, but I'm just, as somebody kind of in my professional life, right, where I've hired a lot of people, and I'm pleased to say I have a tremendous team as well. Like, it's not automatic
right.
that you start hiring for your team and people are just awesome, like your folks are. So, I just think you hit the jackpot, man, and your team represents you well. When even before the Glitter Empire, right? When I was just kind of a nobody in the world, and I think I got in touch with one of the guys, like they were just so approachable, so courteous, made me feel important, and that's a special gift. And
I think you're downplaying it, man. I think that you have a big spot in the car art world. If you look at, all the guys that I talk to, everybody knows Heavy J. Everybody sees you as like a ray of light. Like you do such a good job. Like, from everything that I've seen, always positive, always encouraging, always giving back.
Yeah.
Always putting the spotlight on other people is just as much as yourself. And it's great. Great qualities,
people have been so supportive of me, and I'm kind of, my whole operation, right, is about helping different organizations. But if I can be of any help to any person, right, that gets in touch, I'm all about that, right? These days I'm at a good place in my life where I can do that, right? I've been through times where I was hustling and I was the guy that probably needed everybody's help, and fortunately I'm at a place in life where, the tables are turned, and I kind of want to give back for, just all the people that helped get me where I am. And I don't just mean with cards. I just mean like getting through life, it took a village, to get me where I am. And so, now I will say, because people ask me, Blake, dude, are you ever going to run out of junk wax? Like, what are you going to do? At some point, you're going to have no Mattingley's, you're going to have no Bo Jackson. So I will say I'm thinking about diversifying the portfolio. And I did just get this in the mail.
Nice.
I am thinking glitter border,
Do it. I like that I'm wearing like the same hat.
It's a great picture, I mentioned, some of what I do, right? I just glue it onto a glitter card, glitter rectangle. And some of what I do is like, well, I'm going to cut out the actual, in this case, the player or the artist, cut out the Blake. I got to say, I like the background so much that I don't want to cut you out. I want to keep the background. So I think this one could be kind of a, basic design. But then I also had this idea, because you're doing your B206 or T206 now. I think the only boring part, and it's really good for the overall composition, but this part here, it wouldn't kill me to lose. And I think if I get rid of this part, I could put you almost like a 33 Gaudy size. I don't know if you're familiar with that issue from 1933. Some of Babe Ruth's iconic cards were from that, but they're a little bit smaller. So I was thinking of making a 33 Gaudy Blake
like
Jam. Yeah. Pre-sale audience.
There you go.
Donation, and it's yours, right? But I did want to say thank you, because I got that and like 5 other business cards of yours in the mail, and the Hank Aaron is part of my Hank Aaron collection. That's on the side. I collect a few players, and that Hank Aaron is actually on my shelf with like all my favorite Hank Aaron items. And then don't worry if you miss out on that, Blake. Audience, I got this one too, so I might be able to make 2 Blake Jamieson cards.
I like that one. We'll send you as many as you want, man.
Oh, dude. Okay.
Yeah, I like the Hank Aaron business card's cool. That one came out a little bit darker than the card itself, and it's always interesting, seeing the cards, because you order business cards online, you see the previews online, and Sometimes they look a little different when they get to you, and that was one of them where I'm like, dang, I wish that card was a tiny bit lighter. And same thing, like, I don't know if you got there's what's it, Dante Pettis on the Niners. There's like a white stripe at the top. I just didn't have it. I didn't have it bumped right for the bleed. So there's always issues, when new cards come out, but overall I think that they're rad, and I would love to see some card art.
Oh yeah. Hey, that could be, I know there are a lot of card artists in the feed. Okay, guys, card art challenge. We're all going to do a Blake Jamieson.
I like that.
That's going to be our project. That'll be our project 2020. Legends of card art. And I don't know if Optimus Volts is on. Card 1 in my series of Legends of card art is actually an Optimus Volts. So Blake, you would be number 2 in my set, but you'd probably be number 1 in a lot of these other sets. But I think that would be a cool challenge if everybody did that. I don't know if other folks have the business cards, but
I love it. Well, we're trying to send out as many people as possible. We run out of them fast, and now we got stickers. You get any stickers?
No, I don't think I got any stickers.
We might not have had stickers when we sent you stuff last, but we have stickers now. I'll send them. Yeah,
okay, right on, man. Right on. I love it, man. I mean,
I love it.
Things that come my way, man. Like it's funny. I'm just looking at this. I call it my junk pile, but it's not junk because it's going to be used for cool stuff. But I'm not a guy that throws much away, and of course, I'd never throw away your business cards. But I mean, here you probably recognize this. This is like off a box of 1989 tops, right? And in the packs to get the cards. And I thought, I might use some elements. And so, I've got this baseball banner. If I do an over card, I've got, Nolan Ryan's head, because I thought I was going to use him on a card I did, but I didn't. But I'm like, well, I'm going to keep this. At some point, this will apply to one of my cards, So I've got a cool pile of all my scraps that are for future projects. So I've got your 2 business cards, Nolan Ryan's head, some top stuff, but it's cool, man. You will see a Blake Jamieson card posted soon.
I love it. Awesome. I love it, man.
I would not do this without permission. So I should ask you. I
have permission.
Okay, so literally, if I posted it and I'm like, $30 donation to the Josh Gibson Foundation gets you this Blake Jamieson, you're cool.
I'll match whatever people buy.
Dude, really?
Whatever people pay for a card with me on it, I'll match it.
Shoot.
Damn, triple match. Look at that.
You know what I'm going to do? You know what, guys? I'm going to quadruple match then. I'm in.
Great. Let's do it.
Match.
I love it. That's going to be like, $120-ish bucks or something.
Amazing.
I love it. Oh, this is awesome, man. This is what it's all about. Now, what's the so we were talking about 100x, 1000x, right? I mean, what's our X if we turn this into $120?
That's a lot of X.
Pretty good X, yeah.
Holy smokes. I turned on the comments. Oh man, Scott is saying 50 bucks right now.
Donna says she'll
commit to buy
right
now.
Buy
What's
it.
up, Donna?
Moose says $1 million.
Shout out to everybody who's still hanging out with us tonight.
Okay.
Very much.
No, we can run this for a second while I go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I'm going to go pee.
Oh, you got it, man. I may need to call my lawyer on that $1 million, Moose. I can actually match that, my friend. I might match up to the first 50.
That's fair.
I don't think I can go $1 million, man. I know now it's all on tape. There's video. I said it. Match. Matt, are you matching $1 million?
$1 million. I don't have that kind of cash, so not yet. I'm not matching $1 million.
Oh, Optimus Volt is on. Oh, sweet.
Optimus, what's up, my man? Hell yeah.
I didn't have the comments up, so I couldn't really tell, man. But hello, everybody. I know some of you know me. Some of you are like, who the F is this guy?
Well, everybody knows you now. Everybody knows you now. What's up, Scott? Matthew Burke. I love the collab that you did with Matthew Burke. That's so cool. He's in the chat now.
Oh, yeah.
We have some of his cards with the wood frames, and they are beautiful.
They are so nice.
So nice.
God. Like when you talk about, I mean, all card collectors sort of know, like, hey, man, there's a difference between looking at a card and holding it in your hands, right?
Yeah.
When you hold one of Matthew's wood cards in your hand, and
beautiful. You can feel
3 for me, which was like incredible. But I'm gonna call out. Okay, I got too many piles, so I'm sorry. So I'm gonna go back to the one.
All good.
Before. So 2 of them, the back is just the standard cardboard back, right? It's the actual back of the card, and the wood is overlaid.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, in terms of the craftsmanship and stuff, that is actually even cooler.
Yeah.
Right. This one, it was our collab, and so I sent him the cutout Gooden with a little bit of glitter that you can maybe see. I'm always going the wrong way, but a little bit of like that blue glitter. Yeah. I sent him that, and so he just laid that on top of wood, which was, less of a challenge on his end. I gotta say, though, if there's a way to combine the way he does the wood overlay, but also the wood back, like this wood back, like it made this literally one of my favorite cards in my entire collection, right? And like I can't even put it in my binder. Like I literally am going to clean my desk, so I have a nice spot on my desk, which currently only has one card, 1978 Topps, Steve Garvey autograph.
Great card.
It's going to be Matthew's card plus my most prized baseball card because it's that nice. So yeah, Matthew, if you're still awake and listening, man, if there's a way, I think maybe he is.
Yes, he's in the chat. He's in the chat. Yeah.
Solid wood, but also the wood overlay. I don't even know if that's possible, but I gotta say, man, like, or you just do some in each way because I love the ones you did that are kind of your regular version, but this one with the solid wood, the wood back, oh my gosh, like just incredible, man.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Hey, can we take a minute, everybody on the feed? I know you're gonna agree, Matt. Your podcast is like through the roof amazing.
Thank you.
And Micah Johnson, well done. I just listened to it yesterday. I can't always listen to stuff the day it comes out, just what I got going on. But your Micah Johnson interview was terrific. You said some really cool stuff even before he came on as a guest. I salute you, my friend. I think that takes a lot of courage for a young person to just put it all out there. I was so proud of you. And it was a little bit worlds collide for me because I don't know if everybody knows this. Maybe nobody knows this in this group. But one of the other things I do, I'm the co-chair for SABR, Society of American Baseball Research. I'm the co-chair of the Baseball Cards Research Committee. Awesome. And I'm going to say one of the biggest coups I ever had as a member of that committee was getting to interview Micah, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, whoa, your guest is Micah, right? And now I'm kind of your guest. It's like, dude, this is like, it's like wow. Okay. The utter dystopia we're all living in, notwithstanding, this is the best year of my life. You guys, like, how crazy is that? And I know it's a hard year for a lot of people. So
for sure,
I don't want to forget that. Speaking of don't want to forget 9/11 as well today. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's been such an incredible year for me, just in terms of, getting around to doing some things maybe that I wouldn't have had time to do before. And I guess the pandemic in a way created some opportunity, Yeah. But yeah, man, back to your podcast. Well done. Do we get to know, are you going to leak like on this Heavy J live stream exclusive who your next guest is?
Yes, absolutely. I will. Lauren Taylor is my next guest.
Oh, love it.
Yes. Who many of you know from the live stream. Eric is also, his episode, Those Bag Pages, is coming out shortly. Eric, appreciate you very much. And I don't know if Blake already asked you this, but first of all, I would love to have you on the podcast at some point.
On the podcast?
Yes.
Dude, I'm in. That would be such an honor.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Did Blake ask you, Jason, how you got Heavy J, how you got Heavy J as your name? Is that a Heavy D reference at all? Or am
It is a Heavy D reference. And there's a YouTube video. I don't know if it's easy to drop a link. It's one of those crazy long YouTube things I couldn't memorize. But yeah, there's a news reporter here in Chicago who did a story on Heavy J Studios, and he actually mixed in some Heavy D and the Boys, which was like so awesome. Like that, I didn't tell him or anything, but where the nickname came from. So this was back in college.
Yeah.
And I just had some friends I was playing softball with. And one day, right? This one guy comes up to me, like a teammate. I mean, a good friend. His name was Kevin, actually. And so Kevin comes up to me and he's like, hey, Jay, you know what I was thinking? And like, I was like super single. Did I mention I studied math, right? So I was like the most single guy possible. He's like, Jay, I think maybe you could you'd find somebody to go out with you if you had like a cool rapper nickname. And I'm like, oh yeah, like Run DMC, you know, I mean, this was like, you know, 1990-ish or something, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So would I be Run DMJ? Like, what do you have in mind? And he's like, oh man, okay. Whoa, hold on. You know Heavy D and the Boys? I'm like, yeah. He goes, dude, Heavy J, we're your boys. Okay, so now here's the funny thing. These days, people are like, Heavy J, how'd you get that? Okay, these days, they're not asking that. Back then, I was a freaking toothpick, right?
Okay.
I not anymore, I wish, right? But back then, I was a freaking toothpick. So the name Heavy was something I didn't really think would stick.
Sure.
But all my good friends from college, like these days, I don't think they've said the name Jason in 30 years, right? I am exclusively Heavy
J.
Right? You know, Heavy J, the Hevster, right? I'm the worst with movie quotes, or I'd be like, Heverino, if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
Love it. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it was really after Heavy D and the Boys, and then my friend Kevin, and this did not stick. He became Kevloke. And I don't even know if other people are nearly as old as me who might remember Tone Loc, Funky Cold Medina.
I know of them.
Okay. So anyways, Tone Loc was pretty huge right then. He did a version of Wild Thing, right? And so so anyways, Kevloke, Kevin became Kevloke. It did not stick. Like, I don't even think anybody called him Kevloke the next day, but somehow I'm Heavy J for 30 years.
It stuck.
So
that's amazing.
I know, man. It's cool. But yeah, it was super funny because back then I was a total toothpick. Still hit for power, don't get me wrong, but total toothpick, kind of Splendid Splinter, you know, or Ken Griffey Jr. But nowadays I'm kind of a little more Pablo Sandoval build, let's say.
I think you're quite a bit slimmer than Pablo Sandoval.
Well, you know,
sorry, give you a little credit there, you know.
No, but yeah, because nowadays, like literally, people have been like, "Oh, Heavy J, because you're kind of heavy," and I'm like, "Oh, wow.
You don't seem kind of heavy to me."
Thanks, man.
I'm just being honest. So, I have another question. That was a great answer and a great story.
Sure.
So you're rocking, if I'm not mistaken, the Kansas City Monarchs hat?
Kansas City Monarchs, yes.
Love it.
5th anniversary, so you got to go there. Yeah.
Exactly. What is the painting behind you? Is that a neat?
Yes.
Can you show that? Talk about that for a minute?
You guys have noticed my camera skills are so poor. I'm gonna try to go.
We can kind of see it. There's a little bit of a glare, but okay, that's a really good angle right there.
Yeah. So this is, it's killing me because I wish I remembered the name of the artist. He's even on Twitter, but This is a phenomenal artist. And he basically did a Negro Leagues Dream Team painting.
Oh, it's beautiful.
This is a painting. It's not like from an actual photo. Like, a lot of these guys did not play at the same time, right? But it's like Oscar Charleston's there, Rube Foster's there, Satchel Paige is there, Josh Gibson's there, right? So it's like the greatest Negro Leaguers ever. And so anyways, my fiance got that for me. I think it was for Christmas last year, and I had it framed. I think our live stream doesn't quite do it justice, or my webcam. The frame makes it look like I stole it out of a museum. Like it's like I put a lot into it because I just thought this is going to go in our studio, our Heavy J Studios at the time, our dining room.
Yes.
So I got it framed nice, and then. I think the print itself might still be on sale through the Negro League Baseball Museum or some other sites that do a lot of Negro Leagues merch. The one thing I'll say, if you're looking for an exact match, you won't quite see it because the original print had kind of a big section of white space that had like the name, the team, I think the year that the uniform was from, which was really cool as kind of a reference. But in terms of visually, I didn't like how it looked, framing it. And
Okay.
so I actually had the framers chop it off. So if you're looking for this print, which I would advise, it's a beautiful print.
Yeah,
You'll
it
see
is.
it kind of looks like it, but a lot of little writing under it. And that's actually what I had. So you can see Heavy J doesn't just cut up cards, right? I actually take beautiful artwork and slice that up too, man. I know no bounds.
Slight adjustment there. That's okay. It's an artistic decision.
It is, yeah. But
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No.
okay. Would I bore you and your listeners if I told you a story of the KC Monarchs?
Absolutely not.
This occurred at the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. So I am a regular at what they call their Hall of Game induction ceremony, which is insane. You are like shoulder to shoulder with freaking legends of the game, right? And like you're touring the museum like right next to Eric Davis and like Eddie Murray's like on this side of you, and you're like, what? How'd I get here, right? And okay, so anyways, Jody and I were there last June, and receiving the Jackie Robinson Lifetime Achievement Award was none other than Sharon Robinson, who's his daughter, but also a prominent educator and activist, right? So the number of times I was like 2 inches from Sharon Robinson was like, I would need fingers and toes to count them, right? It was a lot. I was always like right next to her, and I was too freaking like intimidated to say anything. And she is just a warm, gracious person. But I'm like, hold on, this is Sharon Robinson. Like, I can't, I'll say hi to Eric Davis. I don't think I can. I'm not worthy. I can't, But anyways, okay. The tour of the museums ended. The press conferences ended. All these things have ended. And, I said to Jody, hey, let's go to the gift shop. I got to buy a bunch of souvenirs. I got to, get a hat and all this stuff. Okay. So we go in there, and all the VIPs in theory had gone to lunch, like a private lunch. The first year, by the way, I got to go to that private lunch. The second year, I wasn't on the list. So anyways, we're in the gift shop, and we're just thinking it's just us, right? And all the VIPs are gone. Okay. There's one other person in the gift shop. It's Sharon Robinson. And so there's a part of me that's kind of like, oh, here's my chance, right? But I was still like a little too scared, right? And I was like, oh, I don't know, man. I can't just walk up to Sharon Robinson. And it wasn't even like, if it was Sharon Robinson at a Chipotle on a Thursday, I might be like, oh my God, aren't you Sharon Robinson? Right? But this is like her about to receive the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Sure.
Right? Like, this is her about to receive the Jackie Robinson Lifetime Achievement Award. Like I have no place in that world, right? So,
I don't agree that you have no place in that world. I think you're a mensch, and that you're doing great work, and that, you're doing a lot to help support, the Negro League Museum, and it doesn't go unnoticed. So
man, thank you, though. Thank you. And Bob, who runs the museum, is he is somebody I've gotten to know. That was actually a coup. I got to interview Bob. By the way, I think he'd enjoy a pretty big news podcast.
I was just gonna say I'd love to have him on.
It's the centennial, man. I would ask Bob. And if you need a connection, I can connect you. Don't even worry. You got your own connections too. But
no, I would appreciate that very much. Seriously, thank you so much.
So here's what happened with Sharon. Okay.
Yeah.
Basically talking to herself. She's in the Kansas City Monarch jersey section, talking to herself. And this is what she's saying. She's saying, oh God, because the jerseys have years on the label. Like, oh, this was their 1944 jersey. This was their 1940 jersey, right? She's talking to herself, and she's like, oh God, what year did Dad play on the Monarchs? So I'm like, this is my chance. So I'm like, I'm going to go tell her. And my fiance, Jody, who I didn't even think really paid attention to parts of the presentation, goes, oh, he was on the Monarchs in 1945. And I'm like, that was my chance. That was my one chance. No. It was funny. It was like the one time I actually felt like it would have been appropriate, because she was like, what year was it? Oh, she needs me, right? But Jody scooped me, man. My fiance scooped me, which, I think brought us closer together.
That's
actually.
good.
But By the way, man, we might have to check on Blake if he's still in the bathroom. I'm just.
No, he's sitting behind me.
There. Oh, good. Okay. All right. I was
Interview, which is very kind of him because, yeah.
yeah.
A bunch of people in the chat have asked, is the painter of that Greg Kreindler?
Oh, no, it is not. But
Okay.
But it's a great question. It is. When I posted my picture, like I posted on the wall, right? I took a picture of it. I put it on social media, and Greg Kreindler actually commented and said, "Oh, that's a tremendous piece by," and he said the person's name. So I need to go look it up. I'm gonna like post it to Twitter, depending how what time I go to bed, maybe tomorrow morning. But I'm gonna put it up there because he does phenomenal work, and I'm just having one of those brain farts because I'm on TV, I'm a little nervous.
It's like when you're on Jeopardy, it's hard to do it in the moment.
Yeah, I would. Since I think Tim Sternberg is on, I would need to phone a friend. I would need to phone a friend for a second.
Exactly.
Right on. Pretty Big News podcast, you guys. Check it out.
Right. Yeah, I was just chilling back there, letting Matt do his thing.
Yeah. And Matt is like a phenomenal interviewer. You know what I mean? Like I know the help that you probably initially solicited wasn't necessarily journalistic in nature.
Correct. It was packing and shipping.
This is true.
Yeah, I know.
Shipping.
But I got to tell you. So this is just like has nothing to do with baseball cards. I'm just gonna say, for me, there was a time in my life where I was kind of training in public speaking and stuff like that. A lot of those skills have kind of atrophied. But the point is, I used to pay a lot of attention to like good interview techniques, all these things, right? Like when I heard Matt's first podcast where he was interviewing you, he has skills in that arena. Like he is very, very good.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. Seriously. Thank you.
No, seriously, man. I mean, everybody on here, if they checked out the podcast, would agree for sure. Just polished. Like that did not feel like somebody's first podcast.
Thank you.
That was really, really good. Yeah.
Well, technically, we recorded that. I think it was 4.
Oh, that makes sense because I just
we did it. We did that with
Johnson yesterday, and for me, Micah Johnson was the third.
Yeah. The crazy thing is Micah was our first.
You're our very first, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, Micah was the first recorded.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Have you now, Blake? Are you going to do a collab with Micah?
I would love to.
Yeah.
I would love to.
And
I'm actually with Micah. I'm the most excited about. He's pretty very into the crypto art. So absolutely. He sells his art on a site called Super Rare.
Yeah.
And I've applied to Super Rare and hoping to get accepted soon. And yeah, I mean that fascinates me. The crazy thing is with that is that like you sell this digital piece of art. And like I could make a piece of art, sell it on Super Rare, make money for it, and keep the original, which is weird. Weird to me.
Yeah. And then whatever version gets sold, like the digital version, every time it's resold, you get a cut.
Exactly. And that's one of the coolest things about crypto art is that every time it's resold, I'm getting a fraction of the secondary market sales.
Yeah, exactly. And I had a chance. I was telling Matt, I think I had a chance to interview Micah about baseball cards for the Society of American Baseball Research, and he chatted with me for a while, about digital. And at first, right, because I think a lot of people are like this. They're like, I don't get it though. What do I actually get? Like, I'd rather have a card I can hold in my hand.
Of course.
There we go. I'd rather have a card I could hold in my hand than like digital rights to something that I put it up on my iPad or something.
Yeah.
But when he really educated me, and we were talking like, I don't want to give away any top secret ideas, but I mean, like when he was talking about the NBA highlights, he's like, okay, but picture if the physical card was like LeBron in the air, above the rim like this, but the digital was the full-on dunk, right? And I'm like, ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm listening now. And then, we were just kind of chatting and, sharing ideas. And it's like, imagine the physical card it's the Blake Jamieson auto.
Right.
But the digital, like you press the little button and your auto actually appears in real time. And you can keep it there, or you can get rid of it, or you can have it signed live. You know what I mean? Like there's just, when he was talking to me about the possibilities, I was like, you know what, man? He is onto something. And it's just, to me, he is an absolute renaissance man, because I mean, obviously, like world-class baseball player, right? Who just almost overnight became like an art sensation, right? But in terms of just like strategic thinking about like, you know, the future of art, the future of baseball cards, like, you know, I mean,
it's crazy. Topps, speaking of baseball cards, Topps is doing a ton of digital crypto.
Yeah. Which I didn't even know about until we talked to Micah.
Yeah. That is how I got in touch with him. He posted a garbage pail kit. And it was like a monkey eating a banana or swinging from a tree or something. And he's like, this is the future of the hobby. This just sold for $36,000, right? And I was like, oh man, I got to have this guy on like a Zoom for Saber baseball cards, because my membership, I guess if I can call them that, they're not really mine, but I'll just say Saber's baseball card committee people, they'd be like, what the hell is this guy talking about, right? This is the future of the hobby? No, the future of the hobby is buy 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle and sit on it for 10 years, you know? So I just thought I got to give this guy a platform, and he was just solid gold, man. I mean, so it was cool. I would love to see you guys collaborate, because I don't think this came up in the podcast, but he collaborates with a lot of other athletes. And in some cases, these are other athletes who've already kind of made the transition to artist. But in some cases, just like he saw himself back in 2016 as like kind of almost faking it. Like he told Dave Roberts that he likes to paint, and all of a sudden now he's got to paint more he wills, right? He'll work with athletes that don't think of themselves as painters at all, and they'll collaborate on a piece. He did one of George Floyd, I believe, right? He did one of George Floyd after the police killing. And I'm trying to remember who he collaborated with. I think it might have been somebody on the Braves. Maybe somebody in the chat knows. But I believe Jay from the Cubs actually purchased it for $10,000.
Yeah. It was Matt Shirt.
Yeah, Matt Caesar. Yeah, X-Cub.
Yes.
Yeah, like SCZCZUR. If my Saber Chicago buddies are on, they'll correct that spelling. But
I think that was correct. Yeah.
Yeah, Matt Caesar. Yeah, exactly right. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah, but I would love to see a Micah Johnson, Blake Jamieson. That would be awesome.
Me too.
Me too.
And I just want to add this before I forget. Jason, I really want to talk to you whenever you're on the podcast about Saber and your work there, and just like dive deep there.
You got it, man. Hey, I would be happy to do that. I would be very happy to do that. That's been a great organization for me in terms of meeting like so many of my local friends I met through there. We get together, we open a lot of packs of 88 Donruss, you know what I'm saying? 89 Topps, you know, some low budget junk wax parties. But I've met phenomenal people through the organization, and I just love it. I don't want to go on too long here. I'll just say, right, probably like a lot of baseball fans, I always thought Saber was just like crazy statistics and calculators, and I always had a little bit of a bias, because in a way it's all the advanced analytics that have kind of taken hold that have get my man Steve Garvey out of the Hall of Fame, right? It's like the advanced analytics show that, oh no, Steve Garvey, he was pretty average. Dave Parker, he was okay for a couple years, but nothing special, didn't walk enough, you know what I mean? So I'm like, dude, my arch enemies, right? But it turns out, right, that like it's really just, if you're into baseball, you're into it because it's people who love the history, the games, going to stadiums, baseball tourism, baseball cards, of course. But it's like, it's really diverse. It's really diverse in terms of the interest. It's not just stats. Now, nothing wrong with stats too, but I'm just saying, for me, if it were just stats, I wouldn't have joined. But when I joined, I was like, oh, it's all kinds of stuff, and including baseball cards, and that's been a passion of mine forever.
Well, that's just a taste. You'll have to listen to the podcast episode of
Right on, man. Right on. Okay.
for the full information there on Saber. So stay tuned. Coming soon.
I love it. Okay. I'm going to deliver on that.
Jason.
Yeah. Right on, man.
I love it. Yeah. No, it's awesome, man. Well, this has been great, man. I really appreciate and honestly, coming on such late notice. I'm sorry that I just hit you up this afternoon. To be honest, like, I mean, and yeah, I know you tune in a lot, so like I'm sure you've seen, like, we've talked about getting you on for a long time, and so like it's not like I didn't just think of the idea, oh, today, okay, we're gonna get Heavy J on. I just we had a spot to fill, and I was like, man, that would be a good spot. So I really appreciate
We're so glad you
being.
Oh man, well, I appreciate you guys, and not just for having me on. I mean, I appreciate the way that you took what was going to be an absolute lemon of a baseball season, right, and actually gave us highlights almost every night. I mean, Blake, you're doing this thing practically every day of the week. I've got a kid, I've got a fiance, I've got other stuff, so I can't watch them all. But it's like you are doing such a service to the collector community, the art community. So I really appreciate what you guys are doing. Obviously, for me, I feel like a freaking celebrity to be like, on the screen as you. So I do appreciate that as well. But it is my pleasure, my friend. And if you ever need, like, if you have a last minute cancellation, dude, I just need like 5 minutes notice. I just had to put the Heavy J Studios polo in the wash.
I love
it.
Yes.
That's awesome.
All right.
Right on, guys. Hey, thank you. And thanks to everybody in the audience for sticking with it as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do I get to be part of the, the thing we get to say? Am I?
You do. You absolutely do. I want to give everyone a final reminder though. So Blake.art underneath gallery, B206, brand new situation. It's my take on T206. Just for like a little bit of context for everyone, the reason that I released prints today, here's one of them, Honus Wagner. I actually was hoping that these would get printed by Topps as a T206 set. The reason that I had not put out prints sooner is because we were in negotiations about it. I thought it was going to happen. However, Topps decided as a corporation to stop at wave 5. We were talking about making my cards wave 7. Them doing one more wave themselves and then making mine 7. They've decided that they're not going to do that, which is fine. But that means now that I can do prints of it. So there are 3 prints that I just launched tonight. There's a Ty Cobb, a Cy Young, and Eddie Collins, right? That's his name. Who I love. And I don't remember. I don't think I actually said this earlier, but I'm going to do 3 prints every week. I don't know if Friday is always going to be drop date, but today is Friday. And the way that it works is if you buy all 3 prints, you're getting a 4th print, a bonus Wagner for free. Sweet. Of whatever size you're buying. So if you buy, there's 2 different sizes. There's small ones that are pretty cheap and bigger ones. So if you do buy the 3 prints that are out today, you're going to get a 4th print for free. It's going to be a Honus Wagner print, which we're calling bonus Wagner, and it's going to be different every time. So I don't actually know. It could be this one. It could be one of the others.
So it's a mystery box.
But you won't get the same one twice. So if you buy all 3 this week and all 3 next week, you're not going to get the same bonus Wagner each time. Sweet. Anyways, Blake.art is where you're going to get those. Yes. And then there's APs that are signed and numbered. Those are numbered to 10. And we'll do the same thing. If you buy all 3 APs, I'll give you an AP of a bonus Wagner as well. So
not bad.
Yeah. But yes, besides that, you're going to get to be part of the sign-off thing.
Ooh, okay. Is there a countdown? Remind me.
We will do a countdown. Do we have any other final announcements?
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
Pretty big news. We're going to drop the episode with Lauren Taylor
Jump in there.
Okay.
Make them see your face.
But
they can't.
Is it funny if I'm talking as if I'm Honus Wagner?
Sure.
Okay. I just don't want this to fall.
They just need to hear you, though.
I know. You're right. Okay. I got to put this here so it doesn't fall. Okay. Oh.
falling.
Okay, that was very close. Wow, that was very close to falling.
Okay.
Anyway, pretty big news. We got some awesome episodes coming out shortly. Lauren Taylor, Eric, those back pages. Scott Rogowski, the former host of HQ, who's a huge baseball fan, who hosted a show on DAZN.
Boom.
That was awesome. I just interviewed him tonight. Also, Heavy J, hit everybody with your
Do it.
one more time.
Hit everybody with my website. Did you
Yes,
say?
please. Yeah.
Yeah.
Website,
It's an easy one.
all the social media.
All the stuff. Oh man. Okay, sure. The website's an easy one. It is heavyjstudios.com. Studios plural. I'm that big time. Twitter, it is at heavyj28. Instagram, I don't know what I'm doing there yet, but it is heavyj studios, right? Yeah. I think maybe that's it. I'm kind of like you guys. I'm sort of disappearing off Facebook a little. So
I hate Facebook.
It's not updated much, but yeah.
I hate Facebook too. Anyway, with that, I think we should
do it.
sign off. In
Yeah.
a pretty cool way.
So I think we'll count down, and then you do the sign off.
Oh,
I'll click end broadcast, and then stick around because we'll still.
right on. Ooh, okay.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Stay awesome, everyone.